Can children be born evil? Discerning the truth about this phenomenon. I have a friend who absolutely loves children. For a man, that is extremely noble and inspiring. However, this said friend truly believes with his whole being that no matter what, children are innocent, and if they do anything beyond their innocence, it is 100% the fault of their caregivers and their environment. But is this belief completely accurate? There are a substantial amount of cases that depict the antagonist as a child killer who lacks empathy and or positive emotions towards their victims. But how do they become like this? Have they evolved into killers because of their environment like my friend utterly believes? Or is there something more sinister at work? Let's explore the possibilities of this phenomenon, and then let's see what the Most High tells us about children. The killer children. There was an 8-year-old child who was famously known as Amarjit Sada, who killed 3 young ones: his young cousin, baby sister, and a neighbor's little girl. This boy took satisfaction in killing these 3 young ones. According to quote unquote experts, he had a mental condition that allowed him to be in the category of a psychopath at 8 years old. According to his bio, he wasn't abused and he was well taken care of in his environment. So, what happened? Is this a mental disorder or something more sinister? In our second example, we have Nehemiah Griego, who was 15 years old when he wiped out his whole entire family. He shot and killed his mother, brother, his sister. Then he allowed his father, when he came home, to witness the death of his family before taking his life as well. He then had a desire to go to a more populated area, to shoot and kill more people, and eventually end up in a shootout with the police, but instead went to church and authorities took over from there. He claimed that it started because of an argument or a disagreement with his mother that made him irritated, and then he just kept going. The quote unquote experts claimed he had a slightly tough upbringing that could have played a role in his demise. Was he the product of his environment, or is there something more to this? In this last example, we have a boy named Eric Smith. He is a grown man now, just like the other ones, but when he was 13 years old, he came across a young 4-year-old boy named Derek Roby. All the children in their New York community went to a summer camp. The 4-year-old was bright and his mother raised him properly to be independent and smart. When Derek was on his way to camp one rainy day, Eric rode his bike toward the boy. Derek was taught to stay on the sidewalk and to not talk to strangers. But Eric was not a stranger, and Derek was convinced to get off the sidewalk to take a quote unquote shortcut through the woods. Eric immediately strangled and bludgeoned the little boy to death. In addition, he sodomized Eric with a stick he picked off a tree. Where did he get this behavior from? Eric's grandfather, who was a retired sheriff, noticed his grandson's odd behavior and realized he had something to do with this crime. He turned Eric in to the investigators, and Eric confessed to the murder. Eric was diagnosed with intermittent explosive disorder. Apparently, the excuse is that he developed this rage disorder because of his stepfather and being bullied at school. But there is evidence that when he was 3 years old, he set fire to a pile of papers in his kitchen and killed a neighbor's cat simply because it was bothersome. So the question remains, is he the product of his environment, or is there something more sinister happening here? In no way am I stating that all children who kill are born evil, but we can't ignore that this is abnormal behavior. I personally know children who became adults that experienced hardships and trauma and never once thought murdering others was an option. I am one of those children who experienced trauma, but I never thought to hurt someone. So, are the caregivers, without a doubt, responsible for the behaviors of these children? Let's see what the Most High says about children. The blessings regarding children.
Psalm chapter 127, verse 3 through 5. Lo, children are an heritage of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. As arrows are in the hand of a mighty man, so are children of the youth. Happy is the man that hath his quiver full of them. They shall not be ashamed, but they shall speak with the enemies in the gate. Proverbs chapter 17, verse 6. Children's children are the crown of old men, and the glory of children are their fathers. Matthew chapter 18, verse 2 through 6 and 10. And Yah called a little child unto him, and set him in the midst of them, and said, Verily I say unto you, except ye be converted, and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is great in the kingdom of heaven. And whoso shall receive one such little child in my name, receiveth me. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depths of the sea. Take heed that ye despise not one of these little ones, for I say unto you, that in heaven their angels do always behold the face of my Father which is in heaven. Mark chapter 9, verse 37 and chapter 10, verse 14. Whosoever shall receive one of such children in my name, receiveth me. And whosoever shall receive me, receiveth not me, but him that sent me. But when Yah saw it, he was much displeased, and said unto them, Suffer the little children to come unto me, and forbid them not. For of such is the kingdom of Ahiah. John chapter 16, verse 21. A woman when she is in travail hath sorrow, because her hour is come. But as soon as she is delivered of the child, she remembereth no more the anguish, for joy that a man is born into the world. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4. And, ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. James chapter 1, verse 17. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning.
So, according to Ahiah, children are a blessing and a reward. But Ahiah also has this to say about a child that was possessed by a devil. The young possessed boy.
Matthew chapter 17, verse 14 through 21. And when they were come to the multitude, there came to him a certain man, kneeling down to him, and saying, Lord, have mercy on my son. For he is lunatic, and sore vexed. For ofttimes he falleth into the fire, and oft into the water. And I brought him to thy disciples, and they could not cure him. Then Yahshua answered and said, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him hither to me. And Yahshua rebuked the devil, and he departed out of him. And the child was cured from that very hour. Then came the disciples to Yahshua apart, and said, Why could not we cast him out? And Yahshua said unto them, Because of your unbelief. For verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, Remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. Howbeit this kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting. Mark chapter 9, verse 14 through 28. And when he came to his disciples, he saw a great multitude about them, and the scribes questioning with them. And straightway all the people, when they beheld him, were greatly amazed, and running to him saluted him. And he asked the scribes, What question ye with them? And one of the multitude answered and said, Master, I have brought unto thee my son, which hath a dumb spirit. And wheresoever he taketh him, he teareth him. And he foameth, and gnasheth with his teeth, and pinneth away. And I spake to thy disciples that they should cast him out, and they could not. He answereth him, and saith, O faithless generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him unto me. And they brought him unto him. And when he saw him, straightway the spirit tare him, and he fell on the ground, and wallowed foaming. And he asked his father, How long is it ago since this came unto him? And he said, Of a child. And ofttimes it hath cast him into the fire, and into the waters, to destroy him. But if thou canst do anything, have compassion on us, and help us. Yahshua said unto him, If thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. And straightway the father of the child cried out, and said with tears, Lord, I believe, help thou mine unbelief. When Yahshua saw that the people came running together, he rebuked the foul spirit, saying unto him, Thou dumb and deaf spirit, I charge thee, come out of him, and enter no more into him. And the spirit cried, and rent him sore, and came out of him. And he was as one dead, insomuch that many said, He is dead. But Yahshua took him by the hand, and lifted him up, and he arose. And when he was come into the house, his disciples asked him privately, Why could not we cast him out? And he said unto them, This kind can come forth by nothing, but by prayer and fasting.
In conclusion, children are collectively a joy in the eyes of their parents and the Most High. But every so often, we get children who are born evil. And according to the word of Ahaya, these children are born with devils. This conclusion cannot be ignored, because even the children, if they do not repent, can be sent to hell for their deeds. Can children be born evil? Yes, they can. Thank you so much, family, for tuning in. More educational videos are on the way. Shalom, Yasha'el.